आज के इस विश्लेषण में वेलकम टू दिस एक्सप्लेनर. Today we're unpacking the exact technology that is quietly transforming enterprise AI right behind the scenes. You might have noticed lately that AI systems in customer support, medical diagnostics, legal and finance domains have suddenly become incredibly accurate and hyper-personalized. Let me give you a quick example. I recently had some blood work done, and the healthcare portal provided a fully AI-generated summary of my report. It answered highly specific questions based entirely on my personal health data. Now, we know that standard tools like ChatGPT or Gemini don't inherently have access to your private medical records in their training data. So how did that magic happen? Well, the answer is Retrieval-Augmented Generation. In the industry, it's universally known as RAG. Let's dive into exactly what this complex-sounding term actually means and how it is serving as the ultimate bridge between powerful artificial intelligence and your private localized data.
To really grasp the mechanics of retrieval-augmented generation, it helps to think of a brilliant analogy that contrasts two different students taking a final exam. Student 1 represents our standard normal AI model, a traditional large language model. Now, this student has read millions of books and memorized a vast amount of information during their training phase. But when they walk into that exam room, it is a completely closed-book test. They have to rely strictly on the frozen weights of their neural network. Basically, whatever they manage to memorize before their knowledge cutoff date. If they forget something or if they're asked about an event that happened literally yesterday, they're essentially stuck. They're often just forced to guess. On the other hand, we have Student 2, which represents our RAG-powered AI. Student 2 is taking an open book exam. Whenever they're asked a complex question, they don't just rely on memory. They actively open the textbook, look up the most current, real-time facts, and use that verified information to construct their answer. Because of this ability to fetch external data dynamically, Student 2's performance is going to be vastly superior, far more accurate, and entirely verifiable.
That open book capability is exactly why major enterprises are adopting RAG at breakneck speed. It systematically fixes the two biggest foundational flaws of standard AI models, hallucinations and data privacy. Let's look at exactly how it achieves this. First up, hallucinations. When a traditional LLM doesn't know an answer, its probabilistic nature often leads it to confidently invent false information. It's a huge risk. RAG fundamentally reduces this by anchoring the generation process. We literally bound the AI, instructing it to only generate answers based on the retrieved factual context. If the answer isn't in the provided text, the AI is programmed to just say it doesn't know. Second, let's talk about data privacy, which is arguably the biggest hurdle for corporate AI adoption. Enterprises absolutely cannot upload sensitive internal documents like financial records or proprietary code into a public model's training dataset. With RAG, they don't have to. Your sensitive data stays completely localized and secured within your own infrastructure. The AI merely reads specific retrieved snippets at the exact moment it needs to answer a question. This means your proprietary information is never baked into the model's underlying weights. It's the perfect balance of leveraging cutting-edge intelligence while maintaining absolute control over your private data.
Section 1. The Data Ingestion Pipeline, preparing the open book for AI.
Before the AI can read this proverbial open book, we have to actually build it. This entire preparation phase is known as the Data Ingestion Pipeline, and it forms the bedrock of any solid RAG system. It starts with step 1, extraction. We gather all the raw and structured data an enterprise has. This could be thousands of PDFs, internal Confluence wikis, HR manuals, or even sprawling code bases. Step 2 is where things get interesting, chunking. We have to split all these massive documents into smaller, discrete blocks of text, known as chunks. Why do we do this? Because large language models have what's called a context window, a hard computational limit on how much text they can process at one single time. They simply cannot read a 500-page PDF in a single glance. By breaking the text down into paragraphs or specific semantic sections, we create bite-sized pieces of knowledge. Step 3 involves converting these human-readable text chunks into numbers, a process called embedding, which we will explore deeply in just a moment. Finally, in step 4, we store all these processed mathematical representations into a highly specialized storage system called a vector database.
Let's zoom in on step 3, because understanding vector embeddings is really the key to understanding modern AI. Computers, at their core, do not understand English, or any human language. They only understand numbers. So, to get an AI to comprehend the semantic meaning of our text chunks, we must translate them into a mathematical format. We use specific embedding models to analyze our text and output a long array of numbers, which is the vector. But it's not just a random string of digits. The embedding model places this text into a massive, multi-dimensional vector space. The true magic here is that the model maps semantic meaning to physical location within that space.
Words or sentences that share similar meanings or contexts end up physically located closer together in this mathematical universe. For instance, the vector for the word apple will be positioned much closer to the vector for orange than it will be to the vector for car. This mapping of meaning into geometry is what makes advanced AI retrieval possible.
Now, because our data is stored as geometric coordinates rather than plain text, we need a special place to house it, which brings us to the vector database. Let's compare this to a standard relational database, which relies on keyword search. If you query a traditional database for heart attack symptoms, it performs a literal string match. It strictly looks for files containing those exact 3 words. If a medical document says signs of cardiac arrest, the normal database completely misses it. A vector database, however, performs a semantic search. It looks at the multidimensional vector of your query and calculates the mathematical distance, often using a metric like cosine similarity, to find the data vectors that are clustered nearest to it in that space. Because the concepts of heart attack symptoms and cardiac arrest mean the same thing, their vectors are practically touching. The vector database retrieves the cardiac arrest document instantly, recognizing the underlying intent and context, completely bypassing the limitations of exact keyword matching.
Section 2. Retrieval and Generation. Answering the user's query. With our data fully ingested and stored, our pipeline is ready. Let's trace the actual journey of a single prompt in real time. Step 1. A user asks a question. Let's say, why is my flight delayed? The moment they hit enter, that specific query is passed through the same embedding model we used earlier, converting the question itself into a mathematical vector. Step 2. The system takes this query vector and plunges it into the vector database, using that cosine similarity calculation we discussed to retrieve the most mathematically relevant text chunks. This is the factual context. Step 3 is the crucial augmentation phase. Under the hood, the system constructs a hidden megaprompt. It takes a system template that essentially says, given the following factual context, please answer the user's query. It injects the retrieved flight data right into that prompt, and then adds the user's original question at the bottom. Step 4, this newly augmented, context-rich prompt is finally fed into the large language model. The LLM processes this complete package and generates a highly precise, accurate, and personalized answer. It retrieves, it augments, and it generates.
Section 3. Advanced RAG architectures, beyond the standard pipeline.
What we just walked through is the foundational RAG pipeline. But in modern enterprise production environments, the architecture is evolving rapidly into much more sophisticated territory. Let's look at 4 next-generation systems pushing the boundaries. First is hybrid RAG. This elegantly combines the semantic power of vector search with the exact precision of traditional keyword search, an absolute necessity for use cases like e-commerce, where product serial numbers need exact matching. Second, we have graph RAG. This architecture utilizes knowledge graphs to map complex, intricate relationships between different data chunks, which is highly effective in domains like fraud detection or legal discovery where connecting the dots is crucial. Third is Agentic RAG. Here we introduce AI agents capable of multi-step autonomy. Instead of a single retrieval, an agent can look at a complex query, break it down into smaller subtasks, independently route queries to different specialized databases, or even execute code before synthesizing a final answer. Finally, self-RAG. This is a framework where the AI is trained to dynamically reflect on its own outputs. It retrieves information, drafts a response, and then autonomously critiques its own draft for relevance and factual support, actually self-correcting any errors before presenting the final answer to the user.
Which leaves us with a fascinating question. If AI can now autonomously research sprawling databases, mathematically verify its own facts against ground truth documents, and critically reflect on its own drafts to self-correct in real time, what limits are left to break? RAG has fundamentally transformed large language models from impressive, fast-talking conversationalists into highly reliable, deeply knowledgeable, and secure enterprise reasoning engines. Thank you for joining this explainer. Keep questioning and stay curious.